Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and I was tagged in the 10 Crafty Questions challenge. So I'm going to answer the 10 crafty questions. I was tagged by Samantha Jarrad, and she was tagged by Sherry at Turquoise Dreaming, and I'm not sure exactly who started it, if it was Sherry or someone else, because like I said, I was tagged by Samantha, and that's really all I know about it. I haven't had time to check out a whole lot of the videos, so I'm just kind of going with it because I have a lot of things that are going to be coming up on my channel, and I just have had a lot of work to do. So anyway, the first question is my name. My name is Amy Lindsay. I was born in Nevada and raised there, and I now live in Idaho. The second question says, how did you come up with your YouTube channel name? Well, my YouTube channel name, it is not an exciting story at all. I never dreamed that I would end up with as many subscribers as I have. I didn't even think I would be doing it for very long. It was kind of just a whim that I wanted to try. I heard about YouTube and people were doing it. My husband kind of said, hey, you should try doing some like craft videos and see how it goes. And I didn't know. I'm like, nobody's gonna watch me. I'm not a super talkative person. I mean, as you guys know, if you watch me, I don't share a whole lot. I mean, I talk about my kids and things like that, but I just really am not much of a talker. We can go for whole car rides at a time and hardly say 2 words to each other. So like, I just thought it'll never work, so I'll just give it a try. And so my son was like putting the information in for me and said, what do you want your channel name to be? And we have this goofy cat named Pasha, who is a Persian with the flat face. And so I just thought, how about Crafty Cat? You know, just kind of, it was kind of just really literally that simple. I did not put a lot of thought into it because like I said, I just never dreamed. You guys have just been awesome. I cannot tell you how amazing this whole experience has been for me, and here I am over a year later. I started not this July, but the July before in 2017. And so, or actually 2018 it was. 2018 because 2019 is now. So yeah, sorry. So yeah, it's just been over a year that I've been doing this. So I just feel very grateful. My favorite type of craft, I have done multitudes of crafts. I would have to say that I always come back to paper though. Paper really probably is my true love. I love doing different things. I love teaching myself new crafts. I have never really had people in my life to teach me certain crafts. My sister does some, but she does different crafts than I do. She sews and does crochet, both things I do not know how to do. But probably she would have to be the biggest influence in my life for anything crafty at all. I think it's just part of my genetic makeup. I've done stuff like needle felting. This is my Santa that I made out of, so it starts with wool roving, which is the wool once it's been cleaned and before they make it into yarn. So it's just that puffy kind of almost like giant cotton balls, you know, but in colors. And then you poke it with a needle until you get the desired like structure that you're looking for. It's almost like sculpting, I would have to say, but yeah, so that I do love doing this a lot. This is a little bit tedious for videos, I find, but this is super fun. I've done painting, drawing, coloring, anything you can possibly imagine. Like I said, I don't do much sewing. The most sewing I've ever done is on junk journals. I don't have the patience for the whole cutting out patterns and doing all that kind of thing. I just kind of find it tedious and boring, so I don't tend to do much of that. I've painted murals. I did that for quite a few years, but I discovered that people want murals, but they don't want to pay you for the mural. They want you to come and spend hours painting in their house for virtually nothing. So like, that was a hard one, but these are a few of the murals that I did. This was in my son's room. This is my daughter's room with Tinkerbell. This is another Tinkerbell that I did on a canvas for a doctor. This is Lumpy, of course, and Pooh, and that was on the same wall for a friend. I did that one. This Cinderella, that was a friend. This was the same doctor that got the Tinkerbell in his office. He wanted Doc Hudson and Mater, so I did those for him. This was a mural in my old house in Reno, Nevada. This is Alice in Wonderland on a friend's wall. Nemo, this was in my kids' bathroom when we lived in Reno. Squirt and Dory. And then this was in the church that we go to. So those are just some things. I've done that. I did that for, like I said, years. I got into scrapbooking when my kids were, a little bit before my kids were born, but roughly the same time, you know, because you start taking pictures of kids and you want to do something with them. So that's how I got into that more. So that's my favorite type of craft is paper craft. What's your favorite place to shop for art supplies? I would have to say I do most of my shopping on Amazon, only because the area that I live in, I cannot find the types of papers and just items that I need. We have a Hobby Lobby and a Joann's and all those kind of things, but you can't find a whole lot of Tim Holtz. You can't find a whole lot of Graphic 45. Which was truly one of my most favorite paper lines ever. I did tons with Graphic 45 for years. Yeah, so that's really my biggest problem is where to find stuff. It's just really hard. I mean, you can find just the run-of-the-mill, but you know, I like to find different things, and so that's why I've really gone to Amazon, Etsy for digis. Digis are huge for me because there's just so much variety, and I like the digis a lot, and antique stores. Let's see, that was number 4, right? Yeah. 5 is top 5 favorite crafty YouTube channels. Okay, this is hard. I don't get a chance to watch a ton of channels, so I kind of tend to just stick to a few, but I have a ton on my playlist because I kind of go through phases where I watch someone for a while, and then I'll watch somebody else for a while, and you know, and that's why you might find sometimes I comment, sometimes I don't. It just depends on if I'm watching while I'm crafting. I don't usually get to comment because it's just not in a good area for me to do that. Usually I get to watch sometimes before I go to bed at night. Like I said, I just really don't have time. But the people I watch the most probably are Gail Augustinelli, Rachel at Roxy Creations. I watch Allie the Cockney Crafter, wonderful friend of mine. Allie and I have been together literally since the beginning, and I just love her. She is the sweetest, most kind person I've probably ever known. I mean, she's just an amazing person. I mean, you know, you have your family members, of course, are usually the top of your list, right? But I love Allie. And Denise at Wonderbar Crafts, another super good friend of mine. Love her. She is just a super kind lady and would literally do anything for you. I watch Nick the Booksmith. I watch Samantha Jarrad, who is on my design team. So is Gail, Rachel, and Denise and Allie. And Wendy at Wendy's Journal Adventure. And I know that was more than 6, but I kind of rotate around. I do watch Shabby Dabby Doodah quite often. I don't always get to comment. Yeah, so that's more than 6 or 5 or whatever. But anyway, those are usually the top ones that if I get a chance to watch, those are the ones I watch. My 6 favorite colors. You know, I really, that's a hard one for me. I don't particularly have favorite colors. My most favorite color probably of my whole life has been purple. I love purple. I also love red, and maybe some other colors would be like teal. I'm not much of a blue fan. I don't know why. I can't explain that one. Just not. I like certain colors of pink and green, and obviously I like that antique look. So dustier colors maybe would probably be more in my genre or things that I like, rather than super bright colors. I just don't tend towards super bright colors, even though my favorite is purple and red. I don't know. I don't use a lot of those in my crafting at all. But that's about all I can say about that. My favorite tools to craft with are, oh my goodness, this Terra Ruler. I love this thing because you can just, I don't know. I love not having to measure. I love this thing. I use a bone folder quite often. Of course, the ink, because I couldn't live without that. I just love the ink. I would love to figure out a way to live without it, but I just love it. My tacky glue, and so many people try to get me to use other glues, and I have tried multiple glues, and it's nothing against anybody. I'm sure you're all right. I just love my tacky glue, and it's nothing, like I said, against anybody. I have like some texture issues with things that I touch, and so glue happens to be one of those things. And I know that sounds completely insane, but fabric glue, like this has fabric glue in it, Fabri-Tac, all those, I literally cannot. I can't touch them. I hate them. I can't do it. So there's just a few things I can't touch. So I know it's dumb. Love this Scotch Create, and I know I've said it 100 times, but I love this stuff. It is, next to this one, these two are my favorites. I could probably do everything with just these two glues right here and be perfectly happy. My cutter, you know, because if you do need to measure and cut, there's really no replacement. It's a Fiskars cutter that I use, and of course, like scissors, my sewing machine, stuff like that. Let's see. Where do you get your crafty love from? I have no idea. I think it kind of runs in my family on my mom's side. A lot of my aunts are pretty crafty. My mom, unfortunately, passed away when I was 2 years old. So I grew up with my dad and my sister, and you know, my dad wasn't crafty. And not that he discouraged it at all. He was, you know, I pretty much drew or colored or something from the minute I could hold a crayon. My sister talks about that all the time. I've colored for as long as she can possibly remember, like, so that's probably how that started. But I'm not sure where I get the crafting love from. Like I said, I think it's just a genetic thing. My mom apparently did a lot of crafting, and like I said, my aunts are all creative in different ways. Some of them write poetry, some of them sew, some of them, you know, paint, whatever. It's just sort of, I think, in our blood. When did you start crafting? Like I said, my sister said as soon as I could hold a crayon and use it and whatever, I was off. I was coloring constantly, drawing constantly. That's really how I started. I did that pretty much all through high school, drawing. And it sort of developed into the whole painting the murals and random things like that. And then I've always loved card making, scrapbooking, like I said, any kind of paper crafting I love. I've done paper mache, the needle felting, I've done cross stitch, I've done ribbon embroidery. Yeah, so anyway, just I think I just was born with it. My favorite craft so far, like I said, has to be, that's number 10, has to be the paper crafting, because I just feel like there are so many things that you can do with paper. You can make 3D objects, you can, you know, make flat objects, you can just do loads of stuff with paper. So that truly has to be my favorite medium. Yeah, so I don't know, I guess that's all I have to say. So I will let you guys go, and if you have any other questions, just leave them in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer them. Trying to think. I think that's everything. So, oh, I need to say the people I'm going to tag. I'm going to tag Allie, the Cockney Crafter, and I'm going to tag Gail Augustinelli. She will probably get tagged multiple times, and I don't know if she'll have time, but I'm going to tag her. And I'm also going to tag Rachel at Roxy Creations. And I would tag Denise, but I know that Samantha already tagged her, so, you know, not going to do that. But anyway, those are my people. So Allie, Gail, Rachel. Those are the people I'm tagging for the 10 Crafty Question Challenge. I will see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.